Alrighty then, we are now out on the streets of San Diego, which means we now have the rest of the career mode to get through. So these are our three cities on the nav system, as we've got San Diego, Atlanta, and Detroit. Two of these, as you might have guessed, are currently locked, which means we basically need to do enough progression with the racers on the map, which is indicated by the blue arrows, as you can see, in order to unlock the other cities. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for our nearest street racer. The messages will also pop up.
Nice. Carlos is gonna bring you with a bit of that classic Monte Carlo 78 flavor. You in the office now, Holmes. Come with it.
Okay, Oscar. I'll take your advice and go.
Never trust a girl driving a Mitsubishi Eclipse. Know what I'm saying? This girl crazy, man. Watch a day.
So, because Carlos popped up on the map before Vanessa did, that is who we are going to go after. Carlos will be Uno, and then I think Vanessa will be Dos. Okay, so we're nearest to Carlos. We do also get these descriptions attached to each of the racers on the map. Challenge Carlos for the right to race against the American Royalty Car Club. He drives a 1978 Monte Carlo. So he's going to be our target since we've been driving all the way to him. And if I just press circle...
You can beat this dude Carlos, man. He got a beautiful 78 Monte Carlo, but he ain't too smart.
So from what I know at least, the upgrades are basically available from the start of the game. However, I want to make sure that I have all the Stage 1 upgrades available for me to buy. So we're basically going to be racing our opponent's stock to start with, before we upgrade the car. So as you might have guessed, there will be some trial and error involved, but hopefully for me, this should work out okay enough for me to at least get some money whilst I'm at it. And hopefully not be too dishevelled by the understeer that this car is currently giving me. Okay, we've now reached our spot. I will say one thing, a Monte Carlo does sound pretty sweet, with that old V8 muscle. As we begin with Freeway Haul. I get the feeling that says we're probably going to be hauling ass. But we'll see. And we've got a Hummer with a Chevrolet Bel Air in this race as well, I think. Correction. That's not a Bel Air, that's an Impala. My mistake. So basically, whilst I already did make a start to this game, I think I can do slightly better than what I did before, and I can also manage to hopefully get through this without wasting too much of your time. At least that is if you feel inclined enough to watch these videos, and if so, then I appreciate it, and if not, then well, I understand that as well. Some of these races might be slightly longer than some of you will be willing to pay attention to, but to those of you who do at least want to make sure that they be in it for the long haul, then I will at least give you kudos for having the spine to be committed. Because right now, I desperately need at least 1 or 2 viewers who I know have got the spine to pay attention to these long-winded videos that I pretty much come up with all the time. And I am pulling away quite a bit for the moment, or at least I was before that happened. But nonetheless, I'm still leading quite comfortably at the moment, and there's also no cops on my ass at the moment, which is even better because I'm not having to be told to pull over all the time. Cops, by the way, can't bust you in this game. You basically just have to keep going until you reach the red checkpoint, which is basically the finish line checkpoint. And out here on the boardwalk, I finished with a time of 2.5 minutes. Now let's wait for everyone else. I think there might have only been 4 of us in this race. So you know what? We're just gonna roll with it and move on.
Excellent.
Oh, okay, there was actually 6 of us. No, whatever. I'm not sure if I was really paying attention to the leaderboard. The other ones were probably well behind anyway, and it would have been a bit long-winded for me to wait for them to finish. Still, the main players finished at least, so, you know, it is what it is.
So you're looking to get a little more launch from a stop, huh? What about some burnout? By holding down the handbrake and the gas, you'll smoke your tires. Let go of the handbrake and that thing will fly off the line, but you gotta time it right. You can also use this little trick to make the car spin. Great for getting out of trouble, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it certainly manages to give you that afterburn launch, Oscar. As we now move on to Mission Bay Bridges for Race 2. I should also mention weather will become a factor for some of these races. Although I was actually surprised to see a Hummer being one of the opponents in the previous race. That did actually surprise me a little bit. Although, you know, to say there must have been reasons behind it, as the understeer sends me straight into the building. This thing, by the way, is front-wheel drive, so if you're noticing at times when the front wheels are not necessarily turning the way you want it to, that's pretty much in reference to understeer. And usually, if the rear tyres are not turning the way you want them to, then that refers to oversteer. It's essentially when either the front or rear wheels are locked. When you're either making a turn or trying to make a corner at speed, and you're not getting the response from the opposite lock that you're not necessarily wanting. It can also help to use the brakes for tight turns, which does help you to stay ahead. And so far, for the moment at least, I feel like things were already going well, considering I have got a pretty sizable gap up front, and I'm also slowly building that gap. I will make sure to wait for everyone to finish this time because, well, this is a circuit race, and also because, well, it's also because, well, this one, I imagine is not too long. I should have known that was going to happen eventually. Traffic will become more of an issue as we go further and further into the game, but right now at least, these early races, at least here in San Diego, they seem to be treating me pretty well. So, let's see where everyone else manages to finish. With Kayla second. No, let me rephrase that. Kayla was second, 15.5 seconds behind me, virtually. Then Carlos finished in third, with Kato fourth, Alexa fifth, Tracy sixth, and Wayan finished seventh, 29.06 seconds behind me.
Orale! Soon it's gonna be time to start racing with the big boys!
So now let's get our replay, because I figured I might as well. Gotta get at least one full lap of action here. With my Dodge. Also, the other irony is that because I was mostly racing against Chevrolets in this race, you could technically argue that ownership-wise, this was technically a race of Chrysler versus General Motors. Although, technically speaking, Chrysler nowadays is owned by Stellantis. But nonetheless, Chrysler is the technical Dodge. Even though Chrysler was previously owned by Fiat, and I think before then they were owned by Mercedes. Pretty sure in the 2000s Chrysler was definitely owned by Mercedes, if I remember correctly. And Dodge has technically always been affiliated with the Chrysler Corporation because, well, Dodge is basically Chrysler's sister brand in a lot of ways. And of course, as you might know, Ram is essentially an affiliation brand to Dodge, because everyone knows about the Dodge Ram. You know, short little details you might want or need to know if you're interested. This game, by the way, did also release in 2005, which was also around the same time as when Gran Turismo 4 released worldwide. It was honestly just a different time for video games back then. Okay. I think I've got enough shots here now, so let's move on to our final race with Carlos. Guts to Glory. And this time if we win, we'll get $1,000. Should be an interesting one. Is what me thinks. Just taking a sip from my bottle before the hay fever tries to strangle me again. Hopefully, I know what the correct route to take is this time. I do have the experience, so hopefully, at the very least, I should not have too much trouble dealing with the traffic or the timed events. So I think we'll just have to wait and see how we go. That, by the way, is how you view the map, by pressing the top D-pad button. Little bits and bobs you might want or need to know if you're interested, as I am going wide. I almost lost direction while I was going, but thankfully I did manage to make the correction. Before it was too late. I'm not going to use the slipstream turbo, it's a little bit tight to really take that risk, and I should have used it. But you know what? There's still a bit more of this race to go, so maybe we can still be in with a shout for this. Hopefully. If I'm lucky. Okay, this might be my first loss. Depending on what happens here. Oh, never mind. I got lucky right at the end. We do manage to sweep our races with Carlos, despite me nearly losing where the route was by taking the highway. So, 1.5 second victory over Carlos with Alexa 3rd. Bird finished in 4th, then it was Xavier 5th, and Casey finished in 6th. I'm also going to give it a few more seconds to see if whether or not we had a 7th driver in this. You know what, I think there might have been Nib and 6 of us, so I'm just going to move on.
Hey man, come by the shop. I got some incredible new stock in.
Oh, and we also had a Dodge Charger in that race. Pretty sure that's what that is. Because those different bumpers that I see there, they're a totem to the Dodge Charger Daytona. Anyway, we've now unlocked the American Royalty Car Club races here in San Diego. American Royalty Car Club challenges you. And we've also unlocked some flame vinyls and also some new rims. And now we can move on to our proceeding cutscene.
Hey, you ain't embarrassed me yet, Holmes. I hate that fool, Carlos. Pacha carnal, if you want to drive something American properly, you're gonna have to take on those vatos from the American Royalty Car Club and beat them at their own game. Usually, that would mean racing me, but this baby ain't ready yet. Anyway, these vatos will give you unrivaled access to parts and tricks of the trade, and they like the real deal when it comes to cars. Lowriders, hot rods, keeping them straight. It's classic American rides, they say. The kind that you can still feel pop for blocks. To gain a quick boost of speed when following an opponent, try Slipstream Turbo. Drive behind other racers. When you see the trails coming off their vehicles, charge your meter. When it's full, pull out and hit the nitrous, and you'll race on by. Wait too long and you'll lose the opportunity. The closer you are to your opponent, the faster the meter's gonna fill.
Honestly, I think with that
You've
third
been invited
race,
to race in a club event. Each club rolls in a specific kind of vehicle. Drive the wrong kind and you ain't racing. Club races appear in the nav systems as stars. Earn these battles respect and they'll teach you all kinds of tricks for your rides. Tuner, sport bike, and exotic clubs teach you zone, where you can slow down time for precise maneuvering. SUV and luxury clubs teach you aggro. This lets you plow through traffic like it was nothing. Muscle and chopper clubs teach you roar. When you turn this on, traffic and other racers will scatter out of your way. Use it to swerve traffic into opponents ahead of you. Be sure to go after these special moves if you want to be the best.
I kind of forgot about that second tutorial for a moment there. Whatever, don't matter though. So we've now unlocked our first set of club
I just heard about the
races.
San Diego stage tournament. Man, you was born for this. I hear they always give riders away at these things. Serious stakes at hand and all different kinds of challenges.
So we've now unlocked our first tournament, which is the San Diego Stage Tournament. However, I need to get past the other two racers first, and also make sure that my Dodge SRT4 has got some upgrades on it. But nonetheless, we got through our first set of races, so now let's go and view our progress, because why not? So, at the end of episode 2 of this game, in terms of our career stats, so far I have won 4 races, and I have also beaten 1 street racer. So 2% after 2 episodes, and so far I've only earned 3 grand, but that will steadily go up as we go further and further through the game. We may have got off easy this time around with our first 2 episodes, but I can assure you it will definitely get harder as we go further and further through the game, and well, the trial and error will become a thing as well, so, you know. Anyway, Carlos has been defeated, and I think next time we're going to chase after Vanessa, coming in the next episode.